What is good, family? Renee Box Young coming with you, coming at you live. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody who's walking in the door, everyone who's about to come in, or if you're going to tune in later. I really didn't plan this. Usually I put a thumbnail at least a couple days before the actual live show that I have scheduled, but I didn't have it this time. It was kind of abrupt because I just wanted to talk some boxing, man. I just wanted to talk, man. I just want to go live with you. You guys already know I don't really do Sundays, but man, I was like, why not? You know what I mean? I usually have Sundays free in the afternoon. I do things in the morning. I handle some business in the morning usually and on Sundays. But, now, I'm like, why not? It's great to talk boxing. I'm saying always. So, I decided, and I contacted, brother Reggie and, he's in definitely, so it's awesome, to have him as a guest. Always awesome to have him as a guest. So, I was like, hey, bro, how about we talk some boxing, man? Definitely. And he's up for it. You know what I'm saying? So awesome stuff, man. So, thank you again, everybody who's tuning in, everybody who's about to tune in and walk in, step into the virtual doors. Remember, keep that virtual door open. Keep it open. Share, like, subscribe, et cetera, et cetera. Also, subscribe to Reggie Owens, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens, man. Great content there. We actually chopped it up a little bit. We also have some more content coming soon between us two, between me and Reggie. Great stuff, man. Very interesting stuff. Thought-provoking things and things that I think that we all should know, and keep in mind. We got to be aware of everything, what I'm saying, in life and things around us. And, we got to be awake and alert, man. So definitely got some good stuff coming up later in the near future, definitely. So it's going to be awesome. Reggie Owens, how you doing, brother?
Man, doing good, man. Doing real good, baby. Ready to have this convo on this boxing talk, man.
Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you guys so much, community, those who will be tuning in once again. And it's great to have, once again, Reggie in the house, in the building. Back in the 90s, late 80s, I don't really remember, but I do remember that many people would say, oh, so-and-so's in the house. But now it seems like the term transitioned into in the building. So we got Reggie Owens in the building. Definitely. All right, man, let's get to this talk. First, as a little just warm-up conversation, it's not about boxing, but it's just a warm-up conversation, to warm up the mics, warm up our brains, you know what I'm saying? So, everybody has been seeing it. It's viral. It's everywhere. And, in the culture, in the hip hop culture, it's transcending now into politics, right? But it's just interesting. It really caught my attention, you know what I'm saying? Because it's part of the culture, you know what I mean? And, it's getting everybody's attention right now as far as, all right, like I said, it's a warm-up conversation, a little warm-up topic more than anything. And we're going to get to boxing in a moment right now in a few moments. But first I want to hear Reggie Owens' side in this, you know what I mean? Like, we got in the race, politics, whatever, right? Campaigning. We have Kanye West, right? He's running for president. You guys already know about the whole video that went viral. Him, talking about, slavery, a little bit about slavery. Harriet Tubman, right? Talking about, how his mother, raised him, his dad left him, or things around that nature. I wasn't really getting into the too many details. I just, quickly checked, his video, that campaign, but I wasn't putting too much attention on it. I was just seeing how he spoke, how he would, project himself, physically, emotionally, mentally, how he would speak, if he would speak articulately, because we're talking about a campaign, man. We're talking about somebody running for president. So, I guess it's official, man, because he did his first campaign. So, Reggie, what do you think about this, bro? I mean, do you think it's something positive? Do you think it's just a joke? Do you think it's because a lot of people think in two extremes, because we got to understand in that campaign, in this first campaign that Kanye West did, I think it was around North Carolina. I don't remember really, but, people, it seemed like a lot of people were for it. It seems like some people in the crowd were for it. They were cheering for him. Then he started crying because of some emotional aspects he was talking about. I'm not against him crying. I understand, man. I'm sure it hurts, what have you, right? But what do you think about all this, Reggie?
Man, I think it's a cry for help. I think it's a situation of mental health, and it paints a picture on the serious need to address mental health here in this country. And it's just an outcry, but it's also a thing that started to come out with him exposing a lot internally in his marriage, a lot of things falling apart from that aspect. And he's just someone that I don't think candidates are going to take serious. I also think it's a ploy into helping kind of the failed re-election of Donald Trump. His campaign is struggling. Poll numbers are struggling for Trump. Knowing there's some type of alliance or allegiance between Kanye and Donald Trump, and then maybe it's a possible ploy of putting him in there to steal away votes from Biden, being typically the age group that will follow Kanye West, typically are Democratic voters. And to being able to pull votes away from that probably was a possible ploy by Kanye West to try to go out there. But he ultimately ruined it, especially making those Harriet Tubman comments. The crying, that's the worst sign of weakness, especially amongst a man, to cry about something like that. It can hurt, but sometimes you must internalize that pain. And nobody wants to see a man crying. Like, cover that shit up, hide that shit, poke your chest out, man up. But it's a serious thing about mental health, and that's one of the most ignored things in this world. But it's also a thing that, even with the comments that I said about crying, it's also a thing that makes people hide away from this mental health thing, about hiding it and not showing it. When it comes to that, it's something you must definitely be open about and willing to speak about. But his thing is a mental health thing, and it's also a political ploy as far as helping Donald Trump. But it's falling on its head. I think the re-election of Trump is over with. It's nothing no one can come in there and assist the guy with. But that's all I think it was, man. Mental health and a political strategy for the Trump campaign.
I had no idea. It hasn't even crossed my mind that it's a kind of ploy it can be, because if you go back, I mean, I kind of follow these things, because it's important. Like I said, we got to be alert in everything around us. You know what I'm saying? Especially with politics, maybe not be a big political, junkie, what have you, right? Big follower in politics. No, but it's important to know these things. And I remember going back. I mean, you go back some time. I don't even remember, a couple of years ago. Kanye West, right, when he got out of some kind of rehab or something along those lines, he showed himself, his first appearance after rehab or whatever. He was in the Trump Tower with Trump in a meeting. So it's true. I think it's probably they had some kind of arrangement, right? They probably had some kind of arrangement or agreement and saying, you know what, Kanye, why don't you try to run for president? And, maybe some kind of weird deal was happening. I'm not trying to be some kind of conspiracy theory guy, whatever, but who knows, right? Because these things show, it's evident, because we know that they have some kind of relationship going on between them two. And who knows what kind of plan may happen? Who knows what's going to happen after this? And like boxing, like Reggie Owens said, I don't think people really take Kanye West seriously in this aspect. You know what I mean? Him running for president, and like Reggie said, a lot of things are coming out to light as far as Kanye, his mental health. Emotional health, his marriage, talking about getting a divorce now, and just things are coming out. It's kind of crazy, man. So do you think this will go far? Just to close off this first point, like I said, it's just a warm-up conversation, a little warm-up topic. Bruce goes, salute. Thank you so much for tuning in, brother. Thanks so much for tuning in. And those who are tuning in, thank you so much, man. So Reggie Owens, do you think this will go far, man? You think he's going to keep campaigning, or do you think it's just going to just all of a sudden disappear?
It's going to go away, because it already turned out bad. What presidential candidate can come out with the stuff that came out after? Because after it, you see him going on a rant about his wife, about her family, about the exploits of the mother, putting the kids in Playboy, and he wouldn't do this with his kids. Then recently coming out, apologizing, speaking to his wife about speaking on their personal issues. What else was it? Them going through a divorce and all this other stuff. They had personal stuff. So hell no, it's gonna fail for the dude.
Definitely, I agree. I don't think it's gonna go too far. But at the same time, I kind of think that this generation, man. I mean, there are a lot of people I think that are behind. I mean, you guys just look at the Twitter followers. I mean, I don't know too much about bots and all this bot followers, and I'm not too savvy in that stuff, but he has like 30 million Twitter followers, man. 30 million. I mean, that's just insane numbers. I'm sure a couple million of them are really going to like go behind him. You know what I'm saying? And this whole campaign. Don't you think that's possible, Reggie?
No, not from what's coming out, man. He's been embarrassed. He embarrassed the hell out of himself. that mess went viral. A lot of black folks ain't supporting that, but who we don't know about the younger folks, because then, as I say that, a lot of the younger generations still support them, but it's younger folks who don't vote. They're not in that voting graphic, so I don't know how much it'll help him at all. I think he ruined it. He ruined it by coming out with the stuff that he came out with. So yeah, I don't see it going nowhere.
Definitely. Yeah, man. I hope it doesn't, man. I really hope no one really takes him serious. Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk, and more. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hey, real quick, those who are tuning in, thank you guys so much, man. Thank you guys so much for the love. Stay here, man. We're going to talk about some good stuff right now. We're just warming up the mics. That's all we're doing. Hey, Reggie Owens, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens is his channel, but Reggie, before we continue, just for the people who are coming in, bro, where can they? Why? I was going to ask you that, man. I didn't do it before the live. I was going to chop that up with you just real quick and ask you, but you can just say it right now. Why do you have a backup channel, bro? What is your original channel good, or what's going on there?
Yeah, I got a backup because I think I messed up my original channel, so I think YouTube's supposed to be shutting it down as it goes to pending for the strikes I had. So I was getting strikes for not the boxing videos, not none of the other political videos. So I don't want people to think it's that or YouTube targeting any of that. It's not that.
Ah, okay. So you just got
videos come from strikes. So if I put material, so if I put videos with certain material in it, like one is for that Lil Wayne 50 Cent video, putting in there, and a lot of times you can use those videos, but you have to source them right, give credit to the source, and I guess I'm not doing that right. So those people who own the content can put strikes with YouTube. YouTube honors it, so you only get 3. I have 3, but the crazy thing, I had 1 strike coming into this final week, which was last week, and then 2 strikes get claimed on the channel. So rather than that strike ending on Friday, when you got the 3 strikes and it's pending, your strikes don't fall off. So I got to see what YouTube gonna do. But if they cancel it, I ain't tripping. I'll start with this new page. Everything's the same, business as usual. Nothing stops. So that's what it is. But unfortunately, I'm at like 2,000 subscribers, but it's all good. For me, it ain't about the subscriber counts. It's about the content I drop, the message behind the content, and just to put it out there. That's all that matters to me.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. So go subscribe. Everyone who's coming in, everyone who's about to come in, everybody who comes in after this, show. If you don't hear it live, go check out Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens 2, number 2. Okay. So he just explained the why. So very important, guys. Go check him out. Go subscribe to that channel. Definitely, man. Definitely. So, all righty, bro. Yeah, I just had a little doubt on that. All right, before we get to one of the first points here that I want to talk about with Reggie is, Virgil Ortiz versus Vargas, our post-fight reactions. But before we get to that, super important, the women's fight, man, that J.A. Dixon, salute, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in. Go subscribe to Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens 2. I repeat, number 2, and I'm going to repeat that throughout the live. All right. So, bro, what were their names, man? I mean, the girl okay, what were their names? Real quick, can you remind me, Reggie?
It's Sanisa Estrada, and the other girl was Miranda Atkins, who got knocked out.
Yeah, Estrada versus Atkins. Thank you. Yeah, so, okay. So before we get to Virgil or Ortiz and Vargas post-fight reactions, all right, Estrada, oh my gosh, dude. This is what happened. Okay. I called the fight on my channel. I called the main event, Virgil Ortiz versus Samuel Vargas. From time to time, I like to call live fights, and I decided to do this one. And what happened was I was getting ready to take a shower, right? I just want to give you my little story here about this. I saw Estrada and Atkins getting ready to fight. And I was like, I still got some time, because after that, if I remember correctly, it was Mosley Jr. They fought after that, Mosley Jr. versus that other guy. I was like, I got a couple fights in the wait. Cool. I'm going to go take a shower, take my time, and then I'll be out by the main event. So I was starting to prepare, and I was watching them doing the ring walk, Estrada and Atkins. And I was like, hey, maybe I'll watch round 1. I was thinking, maybe I'll watch round 1. So what I did was, right where they were in the ring, they were standing, the announcer was calling them their records. I was like, 5-0, Atkins. Okay, well, she's I guess it looks like an apparent mismatch again, as we commonly see in these these cards that we're seeing nowadays. So what I did was, they were calling them ring announcer, let's get ready, blah, 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 whatever. And then I went to my bedroom real fast. And then they started round one. I went to my bedroom just to do something real quick, man. I came right out. Atkins was on the floor, knocked out. I was like, what the heck? I missed it. Oh, man. And that's the thing I don't want to miss is knockouts. You know what I'm saying? But, when you start analyzing what happened, Estrada versus Atkins, and when you go deeper, with 5-0, rumors are coming out, man. Sources are coming out saying that this lady Atkins, I feel for her, man, because she shouldn't even have been in the ring. A lot of people in social media now, guys, right now, right after that fight, up to this day, a lot of people are against what happened. Even people talking about, there should be lawsuits, brought out, against Golden Boy. And I'm not against that, you know what I'm saying? Because I think this was really, really not right. It was not fair. Okay, nothing against Estrada, obviously, if I'm not mistaken. Who was it recently? Well, there are people coming out and saying it, prominent names, saying, you know what, Clarissa Shields. Yeah, that came to mind, right? The name Clarissa Shields. She also put, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in social media, nothing against Estrada at all. Definitely not. She's a dog. But what happened in there, it wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? So you even got fighters coming out saying it. Nothing against Estrada, definitely not. Great fighter, man, definitely. But just this whole mismatch, man. I personally think, man, this is what I've said a long time ago. I've been saying it in social media. I don't think I haven't said it on my channel, like actually in a video, but I have said it in social media. I have said it in Twitter, comment constantly, man, and things like, another tweets and other posts. I just comment down below sometimes. And I remember saying, it looks like sometimes promoters, in desperation, specifically speaking, I'm not the type to call out promoters and talk too much. I respect them all, whatever, right? Even though there's a lot of corruption behind the scenes, what have you. I kind of see sometimes like Eddie Hearn or like in this case, I guess we can say Oscar, Golden Boy. Sometimes I think that they just get fighters out of nowhere and throw them in the ring. They just say, hey, want to make some money, man? We got to fight for you. And, people who are just not prepared for the caliber opponents they face. What do you think about all this, Reggie? What happened there, man?
Man, this is the foulest shit I've ever seen in the sport, which already has a foul edge to it. But when I was seeing this thing, and how the girl came out, she looked afraid to walk out that corner. Estrada down there met her at her bench. And then I'm looking like this girl doesn't look like she has any of the skills of fighting. Like she just barely learned how to do this shit. So when I go to go look at a record, I'm like, I got to look at a record because the way they try to highlight it is her being 5-0 with 5 knockouts. And a lot of times when I see that shit don't mean nothing to me because I always speak on. Used to do a lot of videos about fighters and their records and how a lot of fighters will fight fighters with upside down records. And I mean fighters who have more losses than they have wins. You'll see fighters out there who have fought people with 100 and something losses, 60, 70 losses, just to look good. But this one was horrible because this girl, Estrada, is a champion, WBC champion. So it shows that the WBC is guilty in this and that they don't have any rules, standards. It shows that the California Commission is guilty of this. They have no rules, standards, or morals or ethics when it comes to this. And also Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy. Well, I'll say Golden Boy. Whoever put that match on in Golden Boy that reached out to this girl has no moral standards or ethics about themselves, and that they will go put a girl like this, where they even find this girl to put her in there against an experienced champion. Now, when I looked at this girl record, seeing this 5-0 record, her 5 fights have been against fighters that have never won a fight. 4 of them were making their debuts. They're fighting out of a weak market in Kansas. So 4 of them fighters she fought making debuts, she stopped all of them. Then when she fights a fighter who had 2 fights, but every single one of her fights had been a loss, she stopped this girl. And they find this girl, Estrada, at the last second because she was a replacement for Estrada's original opponent who got hurt in training or something. So they find this girl to bring her in there against to get an opportunity to fight for a championship title. So that also shows the issue in the sport, that you just gonna grab somebody who's not worthy, hasn't done nothing to earn an opportunity to fight in a champion, which is more added bullshit to the game. But also on top of that, this woman is 42 years old and is also a survivor of cancer. So she has no experience. She shouldn't dare been given the opportunity even fighting a number 10 contender. But it just shows the epic breakdown within the sport when it comes to how they regulate it. And a lot of these fights, I was always saying that the shit that ESPN and Bob Arum was putting on was crap because they were just putting on showcases to where they were getting lesser talent to go against rising talent, putting them in there with fighters they know they're going to knock out, just making fights so people can get the knockouts they want to see. But this right here could have turned bad for the old girl. Could have been some $1 million baby shit. That woman was being hit bad, but lucky she dropped. She didn't stand up too long to take more of that head damage. But it was BS because there's no way this girl who has no experience at the last minute fighting a champion, and to be able to, all that shit was just bad, man. It was just bad right there.
That looked like some kind of setup stuff, man. I mean, like I said, nothing against Estrada, definitely not, but I mean, you know, I question things now. Like for a little quick example, I'm not trying to, you know, I never try to undermine champs and fighters. Obviously not. I just speak how it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you know, and this is not to that magnitude, no, but to the magnitude of what we saw with Estrada and Atkins. But it's just something that makes you question and wonder. You know what I mean? Like, for example, Canelo versus Fielding. I'm not trying to hag on, you know, down on Canelo. No, definitely not. But, you know, I respect him. Definitely. You guys already know on my channel. So, but I just speak things how they are. Like, for example, when they called out that fight, when they announced it, you know, Canelo versus Fielding, I was like, who the heck is this guy, man? I never heard of him. You know, Canelo with that kind of caliber he is, and, you know, a fighter and things like that, even though it's real controversial, whatever, but he can fight. You know, Fielding shouldn't have been in the ring with that guy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, and you know, obviously it doesn't compare to this lowness of a matchup with Estrada and Atkins, but it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder sometimes, you know, with the sport of boxing nowadays, with promoters, and what kind of fighters are they fighting? Who are you? You know, how, like Reggie just said, where did you find her? You know, where did you find Atkins? I hope Atkins is good right now. I don't think there has been a follow-up on how she is, how her health condition is after that knockout. I mean, she was out, you guys. I mean, she was out. You know, when she went to the floor, it looked like Tyson Fury when he got knocked out by Wilder in the first fight, round 12. It looked like Wilder, man. She was just out. I'm sorry, it looked like Tyson Fury. Sorry, she was just out, lights out. Took a while for her to come back, you know, and she. And you know, and I like the fact that a lot of people, you know, boxing fans, you know, a lot of people who observed what happened that night with that fight, at least a lot of people spoke out. And that's what I like. A lot of people on Twitter, a whole lot of people, you know what I'm saying? When, if I'm not mistaken, it was on Golden Boy or whatever, DAZN Twitter profile, whatever. They put, oh, what a knockout, you know, trying to glorify something so, I don't know, dude. I just can't find the words, but they put a clip. Oh, world record knockout by, you know, Estrada. Okay, like I said, nothing against Estrada. We're just talking about this matchup, you know, by the promoter. It's the promoter's fault. You know, she was just doing her job. It's all good. You know what I mean? But, you know, and the reason why I say this is because that tweet or whatever they posted in social media, man, so many people talking against that. A lot of people, man, a whole lot of people talking against that matchup. And, you know, that's cool. I think that's cool that people are speaking up about it. Because the thing here is that promoters, you know, and people, they have their eye on social media. It looks like DAZN doesn't really, because they're just making matchups that are just, you know, like, what the heck is going on? You know what I'm saying? And the way they're doing their moves, their business moves and things of that nature. It's like, what's going on there? You know, it looks like they're not really paying attention to real boxing fans or whatever, but, you know, promoters do, generally speaking, do pay attention to that. They pay attention to what fans have to say. So I hope that this outcry and this, the opinionating of, you know, the boxing community, I hope they open their ears to this, and I hope that this kind of stuff doesn't happen again. I hope this kind of stuff don't happen again at all. That was definitely unfair. It was just totally unfair. Anything you got to close that off, Reggie?
No, man, like you said, man, unfair is like, man, a nice way of putting it, but
Yeah.
something has to be looked at. But it's like who you look at, because the commission allowed it, the sanctioning body allowed this to be a championship defense. Um, they allow the promoter to put it on, and it just shows that these dudes, these people don't investigate the sport. They don't look at who these people are. All right, let's see. All right, so we're gonna do this labor placement. Is this person worthy of getting a shot? And how can the promoter be the one that chooses the opponent for a championship defense? If there's ranking and stuff, if the opponent that was set up to fighter falls out, it should be the next person up on the ranking list, not the promoter selecting who the hell they want. And they go find the easiest thing walking the planet Earth for this champion to fight and look good. And for them to boast and brag about her setting a record for the quickest knockout against somebody anybody probably would have knocked out. And I think it's bullshit. I think it's cheap shit. And it's the thing you see with how they set up things for their fighters. Like you're bringing up the thing with Canelo. Here they are finding his easiest opposition when he's moving up and weight and things like that. So it was just a bad look. It was nothing cool about putting that girl up in the ring with her. To me, it was foul, but it's nothing on the fighter. It's on all three of those other parties: promoter, commission, sanctioning body. But that's all I got on that one.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Well said. Real quick, Ray Wallace. I don't think I remember saluting you, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in. G Funky. Thank you so much for tuning in, bro. Jay, Dixon, all you guys are tuning in, man. I thank you guys so much. I appreciate you guys, man. Definitely. Let's get on to the next point here. We're talking about a little bit about the card. We're going to get into that. You know what? Real quick, bro. Did you see the Mosley Jr. fight?
No, I didn't check out any other fight except the what's that one? The Vargas and Ortiz fight.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, let's get into that. Let's get into that right now. Cool. Because that's in the bullet points. Right on. Let's get on to it. So, a lot of people, it's all good, G-Funko. Don't worry about it, G-Funk. It's all good. So Virgil Ortiz, everybody saw it, right? Versus Samuel Vargas. Most people saw that. Boxing community saw it. Just like most people say, right? I agree. Virgil Ortiz gave an excellent performance. We know the story. You guys all know the story, okay? But I want to say something kind of different, okay? In my point of view, we already know Samuel Vargas is a veteran, right? Tough guy, tank, fights in there, and blah, 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 right? Takes a lot of punishment. Great step up for Virgil Ortiz, blah, 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 everybody. We know that. So, but, okay? So, Virgil Ortiz, let's talk about this. He just did amazing in the ring, okay? He just did amazing. But, okay, when I called the fight, I explained this clearly that in round 5, I think it was in round 5, it looked like Virgil Ortiz, was, I don't know if he was just like working on his defense, because what happened in round 5, I personally gave the round to Vargas, round 5. All the other rounds, obviously, I gave to Virgil Ortiz. But because what happened was that Samuel Vargas started fighting on the inside. He started going toe-to-toe and more like shoulder-to-shoulder and fighting on the inside. Not much like a Porter, really, but, just going to the body, drill into the body, fighting on the inside. And Ortiz didn't really do much, okay? In round 5, I'm talking about, okay? So I just want to give this little critique in this aspect that Virgil is a great all-around fighter. I mean, his jab is wonderfully crisp. His jab is really highly skilled. He's highly skilled in his jab. He was throwing that jab all night, whiplash in Vargas' face all night, his neck, boom, all night. Beautiful jab. I love it. Hooks are amazing. Shots to the body are great. But, okay, this is something I detected in this fight, that in round 5, Virgil Ortiz stepped down, he took the pedal off the metal, okay? And he was just like on the inside, Vargas was doing work on the inside and Ortiz wasn't really responding. Some time ago, a few weeks ago, in our, the boxing series we got going on with Reggie Owens, salute to Curtis Anderson, Stormy B, OGs, they're in on the series. I think it was in series number 2, the second show, where they were talking about, I think Stormy B was talking about more about it. Curtis, they were, chiming in on these aspects that a lot of fighters nowadays, maybe not all of them, obviously, but we talked about, Reggie also gave his input on it, about how fighters, a lot of them don't really fight on the inside as they should. Now, obviously, there are fighters now who can fight on the inside, definitely. But I saw in this certain fight with Virgil Ortiz, he wasn't really fighting on the inside when Vargas was giving him work on the inside. Okay. So that's something I wish I can see. I would love to see Virgil Ortiz improve on, to fight a little bit more on the inside when he is pressured on the inside. Doesn't mean he can't fight on the inside, no, but I would like to see him increment that a little bit more. But, all around, Virgil Ortiz just did amazing. He didn't tire out. I don't recall him tiring out. If he did tire out, he probably did before round 5. And that's probably why he took round 5 to relax and not execute so much offense. And then he just went back to work in 6 and 7. It was game over. If I'm not mistaken, in 7, it was a TKO. So maybe it was that, or maybe he was just trying to work on his defense. But that's the only thing I can really critique about Virgil Ortiz. He looks like a solid fighter in the welterweights, man. Solid. So what do you think, Reggie? What's your reaction on this?
Man, I thought he fought flawlessly, man. The kid is vicious as hell, man. He's a very vicious kid. He comes in there to bring the pain. I thought he looked good. And now he has a common opponent to the two top welterweights, Danny Garcia and Earl Spence. So he's on that list of fighters that have been able to stop Vargas. So this is a good look on his record and in the fashion in which he did it. Man, he was putting knots all over Vargas's face, busting him up. Wasn't too much Vargas can do. And then under the conditions he did it. So I don't know how different it can be fighting in these conditions where nobody's in there and still be locked in and engaged with the opponent. So him going in there, not changing anything, not needing the crowd to motivate him, not feeling a little bit sapped or not energized or motivated to get in there. He still went in there and beat the brakes off of Vargas. And Vargas didn't really stand a chance. The only chance Vargas stood is when Ortiz allowed him to do something, which wasn't much. But this kid is bad. But the thing is, I'm not going to ride with the hype, because you get hype and excitement around fighters, and people around boxing immediately want to thrust them up as, oh, they need to go fight. They're ready to go fight Crawford. They're ready to go fight Spence, and they're ready to fight these guys. That mistake they do not want to make. Fans need to allow this fighter to move his way up appropriately. The fighter needs to move his way up and not bite off more than he can chew. Because even with how he's looking, he will face, when he moves up a level, because to fighting is truly levels to it, he may not want to see the same fate that Fernando Vargas met, trying to move up too quick. J-Rock, Erickson Lubin, that dude Antonio Douglas, who caught a vicious beatdown, which ruined his career at a young age, and he was on a meteoric rise at one point. So I think Vargas just needs to measure himself out. Plus, before he makes those steps up, he needs to find an opponent who comes back to fight, because they've been putting him in there with opponents who, once they feel a few punches, they don't give anything back. At the top level, you start punching those guys, they give a lot back. They don't fold as easy as the competition that he's fought so far, but he has all the tools looking at it. So now it's just seeing the sides, how far his heart goes, how much he pushes back, how much he resists, and willing to engage and impose his will against an opponent who's going to stand right in there and give everything that he gives out. So that's the way to see it. And maybe him and Jaron Ennis need to challenge each other before they move up trying to fight these former champs and champions. But that's all I got on that one.
You're totally right. Exactly. This is something that we cannot fall into, is the hype, right? Definitely right. We cannot fall in too much into the hype. This is something I said after the fight. I gave a little post-fight reaction, and after I called the fight, and just stayed live and just talked afterwards with the chat, just collaborating a little bit in comments and stuff. And one thing that I said was, why, rather than Virgil calling out Bud so much and our attention on that, why doesn't I understand? Okay, Virgil, Fighters do that. Okay. I mean, yeah, I want to fight the best and blah, blah. Okay. That's fine. But right now, I don't think Virgil would be ready for a Bud. I explained in there, I explained in the post fight reaction after the fight, when I was explaining, just brushing up some stuff. I said, Virgil got some dog in him, definitely. But if he were to fight Bud, I think personally, Bud just has more vicious dog in him. And like you just said a moment ago, Bud will fight back. Bud is one of those fighters who's going to fight back until the other fighter can't fight anymore. He's not the type to back down when he's confronted. When it comes to exchanging blows, when it comes to fighting, I'm not talking about just like boxing skill, but fighting. Bud does that. That's dangerous. On top of Bud's skills and amazing IQ in the ring, he fights too. Okay, so that's dangerous. That's dangerous. And Bud don't look like he gets tired. His stamina is off the charts, man. He just goes on and he's just, man. And so personally, I think, just like what Reggie said, let's slow down and let's not get on the hype train, with Virgil yet, right? Let's not get on the hype train. I would love to see, this is something no one's talking about, and I think it's perfect. Virgil, and I think it's too much for Virgil as a matter of fact, but I mean, people talking about him stepping up. Okay, go fight Porter. Why isn't he calling out Porter? How about a Thurman? I never hear him calling out Thurman. How about Mikey Garcia? I think that would be great. Oh, Virgil Ortiz versus Mikey. He's speaking a whole lot in the welterweight division. Mikey's saying he thinks he has a chance and he's going to be championship one day and, champion one day in welterweight division. He keeps going on, ranting and raving, Mikey Garcia, about, being great in the welterweight division. Go fight Ortiz. How do you think that would work out? Reggie, Mikey Garcia versus Ortiz? No one's talking about that.
Yeah, that'd be a good one. But then again, I don't think Mikey need to be at the welterweight division.
Right.
I think what's the name can beat Mikey. Mikey's too small. You remember what Mikey had to do to try to get up there? He had to go into the snack program. So he's just naturally not there. But I still don't want to count it out. I'm pretty sure they have sparred, but I think Ortiz will give it to Mikey. But that'll be a good test for Ortiz. But Mikey may need to stay at that 140 division. I don't know what he can do as a welterweight. I don't know. I just don't know what he can do, what he'll be able to do. And I think Ortiz is just that vicious. And I don't know what's been coming out of sparring between those dudes. And I'm pretty sure Ortiz has probably been getting the best of Mikey, because they come from the same gym. So when he's training, I don't see Mikey around. So who knows what's going down with that? But even Porter, I think Porter would be a bad test. Porter is one of the top dudes to me. Like I said, when Porter in that Earl Spence fight, that fight was close. If it wasn't for that knockdown, I think I had Porter up around, and it could have easily been a draw. But Porter, everybody Porter has fought, man, he's created issues from him. Porter ain't a dude who it ain't too many fighters who have a punch that's going to keep Porter away from them. Nobody in that division is going to keep them away from him. But maybe as he ages, that's going to be the opportunity that opens the door for him. But Porter is probably a more dangerous fight for this dude, because Porter has a style that can it varies. Whether he boxes you on the outside, he's in your chest, you got to worry about being head-butted, things like that. So who knows? But I just want to see where Vargas goes from here. But it's exciting to see what happens with him. But from watching the kid, he has a lot. But hopefully they ain't rushing him too quick, because what he got, 16 fights or something like that?
Something like that. I don't remember. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that you're totally right. Mm-hmm. And the thing here is that Yeah, I think Porter would be too much, man. I think he definitely would be too much. Real quick, let's get to the comments real fast. We got here G Funky. Thank you so much, brother, for tuning in. I don't remember I shout you out there. Thank you so much. Shouts out to you, brother. D Hodges in the building. Also, let's get the comments real quick. You know, brothers commentating here. So Ortiz was extra crispy like a bucket of KFC. Oh man, I definitely agree. I liked how J.A. Dixon. I liked how he was changing. Yeah, dude, angles to get good leverage on those. Beautiful. It was beautiful. Beautiful fight, man. Beautiful execution by Virgil. I loved it. I loved it. Beautiful angles, man. Definitely. I want to see Ortiz fight someone like a Jeff Horn next. Jeff Horn's going to fight some unknown dude. Who knows who the heck that guy is? All due respect, you know what I mean? But I don't know. No idea. Never seen him in my life. I don't know what's up, but that would be a good test. That would be cool. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice to see that. What up, Renee in chat? LWC, thanks so much, brother D Hodges, for tuning in. Thank you guys. You know, brothers saluting each other out. Cool. We got J.A. Dixon again. Ortiz. Yeah. Boots, yeah. Lipinets, just mix it up. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's great opportunity here for Ortiz. Great opportunity. Bruce goes, where did you hear this, brother? Is that true? Is that official? Mikey talking 154. Nah, dude. I mean, that's just totally wrong. What is Mikey gonna do there, dude? It's like, nah. What are you gonna go? What are you gonna go fight Oscar De La Hoya or what? I mean, come on, man. I mean, okay. What Reggie said. I said this months ago. This was months ago. This was months ago when he debuted, right after he debuted for Spence or whatever. I think it was against that. I think it was right after that fight. I put a video out, and or I think it was after the Jesse Vargas fight. I think it was after the Jesse Vargas fight. Yeah, I posted a video speaking about this, and I said, "Is Mikey really good in welterweight division?" I forgot what I titled it, but I explained there that Micah Garcia is like a, B-level welterweight, man. I explained it there. That's just my humble opinion. Micah Garcia is like a B-level welterweight, right? I don't see him, just like Reggie said right now. I personally think also I agree that, a Porter, even a Thurman, Thurman, I mean, Thurman's still skilled, but, his fire's out. I don't really eye Thurman too much anymore in the welterweight division, unfortunately. He was one of I loved him, man, but it's just that, it looks like the fire's out with him, dude. But, Boxing Talk 24. So it looks like, all right, he said it. He said it out of his own mouth. That's why he's saying Mikey talking it. So, okay. Wow. I mean, what are you going to do in one thing? Dude, I don't know about Mikey, I don't know about Mikey, great fighter and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't see him, too in the welterweight division. That's why I explained it, like a B-level welterweight. I see him like that. I don't know if Mikey can, 154. What are you going to do there, bro? I mean, it's like, I don't know with Mikey, but with Virgil Ortiz and Mikey, I think it would be interesting. It would be quite interesting, quite interesting matchup. I think that would be a great matchup, or like brother just mentioned a moment ago. You have Ennis. Everybody has been crying out, Boots, Ennis against Virgil Ortiz, but it's not happening. So we'll just see how Golden Boy guides this guy, because the thing here, that's another issue, man. Golden Boy, it looks like, I hope they don't just protect him. That's another thing. That's another issue that, Golden Boy does sometimes. Obviously we have Canelo and his controversial track record, what I'm saying, with his record. I don't know if Reggie, do you think Virgil's going to be protected, man? Something in the back of my head is telling me he's going to be protected, and they're just going to give him opponents like that for a while, man. But Virgil looks like he doesn't want that. Virgil wants to fight the dogs, man. Do you think they're going to try to protect him, man?
I think Oscar will for the sake of his company, and that's the thing. I think they think works for them is trying to make fighters look good, staying undefeated, because he's doing the same thing with Ryan, who was asking to move up, asking to fight Tank, and Oscar would publicly come out and say, oh no, he's not ready for Tank, he's not ready for these guys, when they should be fighting. He should be fighting the younger fighters that he's come up with. But Oscar's keeping him away from that. Oscar's kind of try to do that thing with Canelo, but Canelo is taking his own career and has demanded for some fights, even though Canelo does sometimes a backtracking and taking safer fights. I think Golden Boy wants that as well, because the company depends on that, because they're worried about if Canelo loses, does he lose star power and fans willing to shell out the money that they shell out for pay-per-view fights for Canelo? Because ultimately that hits the company. And who does the company has the star? Nobody. They have to develop Virgil Ortiz, but to develop him, they have to put him in there against better opponents. and not just walk through opponents that just get in there to lay down to this dude, because fans are becoming more educated on the sport. As we move on, even the casuals are going to start becoming more educated on the sport, especially with content being put out and speaking about the ins and outs of the sport. People pay attention and they're going to start knowing what is what. So it's only for so long that old model of padding people's records with easy opposition can last. It's just too much being put out there. So I don't know how long they're going to try to run it until it plays out. But I think Virgil Ortiz, to me, that kid, I don't think is down with that easy stuff. I think the kid is really looking to try to be something special. He wants to make his mark in the game. So we'll see what happens with that one. We'll see. We definitely see what happens.
You are definitely right.
Go ahead. One more point about the Mikey thing, about 154. Yeah. And I think it's a joke for Mikey to do that, because even when we're speaking about Mikey versus Ortiz and speaking that I think Ortiz a beat on, because Mikey ain't a true 147. Like I say, he had to get on snack and all these other supplement and weight programs to even get up to 147. But in his last fight, when he fought, Jesse Vargas, Mikey looked horrible. And I don't think Mikey won that fight against Jesse Vargas. So that just proves that he'll get crushed going up to 154. And it's probably he can't get that weight off of him is another thing, from putting all that muscle up on him. And that might be a reasoning behind that.
Yeah, it can be. But yeah, I agree. Mikey Garcia moving up to 154. That's just like, I don't know what the heck he's thinking. I don't know if he's going to be playing hopscotch like Canelo has done, going up to middleweight, and then, fighting what's the guy, Kovalev, up in the higher division, and then just go jumping down again and just jumping up and around. I mean, if Mikey's going to be doing that, I don't know. That's just perplexing to me. It's totally perplexing. Looks like he doesn't have his vision straight on who you're going to do. What are you going to do? Jumping up from, the lower division that he was in, 147, taking on the best, taking on Spence, getting schooled. Now you're going to get out of there now? Like, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing, Mikey? What are you doing? I mean, I love you, bro. You're really fundamental, skilled fighter. But what are you doing? I mean, what are you talking? Sometimes I think these things, about fighters. I thought the same. Bud Crawford's amazing. He's amazing. But he was also talking about some time ago, a lot of people didn't really talk about it, where he even talked about fighting Canelo, moving up and fighting Canelo to I forgot what he said, 154 or 160. I don't remember what he was saying, but he talked about fighting up. And it didn't seem like he was joking. He had a serious demeanor. And then Bud's not the type to joke, man. Bud's a serious cat. You know what I mean? He's serious. What he says from the heart. And I made a video on that, and I was like, who are you going to fight, bro? Why are you talking about moving up from the welterweight division? You know what I'm saying? So who knows? It's perplexing to me when fighters talk about these things. Like, I mean, I understand fighters moving up, and I mean, it's not perplexing to me to talk about a fighter moving up. No, but like Mikey Garcia talking about moving up, Bud Crawford talking about, I mean, I understand Bud Crawford. He's game. He's a fighter. You know what I'm saying? But personally, it's a really, really controversial issue with Bud. I don't want to get off the topics that we're talking about right now, but these things come up. I know it's controversial that Bud, he's not probably fighting the most favorite opponents. I totally agree with that. As far as his last couple fights, I mean, I think he still has a lot to prove in the welterweight division. Stay there, brother. And a lot of people aren't talking about that interview that he had. He was in the middle of a ring. He was in the middle of a ring talking. I think he had like a gray jumpsuit on, sweats on, sweatpants and sweatshirt. And he was talking about that. They were questioning him, and he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to move up. I'm going to move up, and I'm going to fight. And people and the reporters or whatever, they were laughing. And he was serious. He was like, no, I'm going to move up, and I'm going to fight Canelo. And, I was something along those lines. I was like, bro, what are you talking about, man? Stay in the welterweight. And obviously, I think he's going to stay in the welterweight. I don't think he's moving up. But it's like when people talk like that and that they shouldn't move up, it's like, what are you talking about, bro? Like Mikey, 154, what the heck are you talking about, bro? I totally agree. J.A. Dixon says something here. Ellis. Okay, yeah, nobody talking about, let me go right there real fast. Okay. Yeah, nobody ever mentions Rashidi Ellis. Right. I mean, I personally think that like Reggie Owens is saying right now, that I think personally that I think Golden Boy is going to protect Virgil Ortiz for a while. But then again, you have who was it? Was it Hodges? Who said it? I just said it in the chat right now. Yeah, Brusco. Sorry, Brusco says he's only 22. Time is on his side. Yes. Yeah, he's young. He's young. He's 22. Okay, I didn't remember his age, really. I didn't really pay attention to Virgil's age. That's pretty young. So, yeah, he'll I guess they're going to probably prune him, protect him, while he's moving up the ladder and what have you. But at the same time, Reggie Owens just mentioned a moment ago right now, and we all know this. Virgil wants the dogs, man. He wants the dogs at the division. He's calling them out. So, hey, man, put your money where your mouth is, bro. I mean, that's another thing. Fighters... A lot of fighters nowadays, man, they talk a lot, but they don't fight who they talk about. So, you know what I mean? I think we got to cut to the chase. And I think we got to nowadays. And Reggie Owens just said it right now. And I agree. I definitely agree that fans are being more educated on the sport of boxing. Proof is what we just talked about a moment ago with the Estrada fight versus Atkins. A lot of people were against it. Why were a lot of people against it? Because they know about the sport now. People are more educated with matchups. A lot of people are more educated concerning right matchups and challengeable, respectable matchups between two fighters in the ring. And we're talking about boxing. We're not talking about UFC and all that stuff. No, boxing. So, and there was a lot of people commenting on that tweet that Golden Boy or DAZN or whoever it was one of them in Twitter or something, talking about, record KO, first record in the history of women's boxing. And a lot of people were against that. A lot of people commenting on Twitter. So that shows you that a lot of boxing fans are starting to become more educated in the sport of boxing. Definitely, man. So that's another thing. A lot of people are paying attention to what boxers are saying. Boxers shouldn't be so, careless with the mouth, calling out whoever the heck they're calling out and not fighting them. It's like, come on now. We're not falling for that stuff anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're not falling for these little games of, I'll fight him. And then the promoter sticks his nose in the business. No. He's going to fight so-and-so. No, he's not ready. And no. If a fighter says he's going to fight him, do it. Put your money where their mouth is and get to business. Get down to business. Let's go. Sign contracts. It's a Stormy B, man, is in the house. OG Stormy B, man. Go subscribe to the brother. Go subscribe definitely to Stormy B, man. Go subscribe to G Funky 84 Boxing. I repeat, go subscribe, and I'm going to click on the comment just so you guys can see Reggie Owens' backup channel, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens 2. Go check out his backup channel, right? So we just explained at the beginning of the show that, his backup channel, he's working on it, going to build it up again. Sorry about that. Just hit the mic real quick. So go subscribe to Reggie Owens, Boxing Conversation, Reggie Owens 2. Go check it out. D-Style Boxing is in the building. Oh, we got to hear what D-Style got to say. No big deal if Garcia fights at 140. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, 154, Mikey, you're weird. Okay, why are you talking that? 147, okay. I mean, I see him personally. Like I said, I popped a video out some time ago about that. I think I see Mikey Garcia as a B, B level welterweight. That's how I see him. All right, so go down to 140. Go back down to 140, man. That would be great. There's a lot of competition there. That would be wonderful. Nothing wrong fighting different weight classes if you can make the weight. Yeah, but 154, man, I just don't have it. But 140, that would be.
Yeah, he's better at 140, 147.
I'm trying to click on here.
Even with the thing with Bud talking about fighting Canelo would destroy Crawford at 154. It makes no sense. And a lot of these dudes, I don't know the reason behind doing it, but if it ain't the natural weight for you, you fighting a guy who can go all the way up to 175, much stronger, has a greater ability to take a punch. Canelo would destroy Crawford if he was ever to move up to 154.
Yeah, and he did talk it. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of people they didn't talk about it. I don't know why. A lot of people didn't really talk about that. That Bud said it clearly. I even have the link in the description in that video I did. What the heck was it called? I forgot what video it was that I pumped out. This was months ago. Bud clearly said that, and he called out Canelo's name, and it's like, dude, what are you talking about, bro? I mean, it's not, okay, real quick. D-Style Boxing, Golden Boy Promotions not protecting Virgil. Dude has better resume. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, I feel you. But, we'll see, man, in the future. I hope they don't protect him. In the future. Let's hope the best for Virgil, man, for the opponents, and that he keeps getting great competition. This is right on. Bud too small for 154. Definitely, man. I mean, that's what, I don't understand why these fighters do this. And I don't know if it's for, I'm kind of tired of, hearing all this. And you guys know it. You guys all know it. Those who are tuning, thank you guys for tuning in, man. We got more people coming in the building. Thank you guys. JC, salute to the author. Go subscribe to JC. Great author. Got some content out there. If y'all, into reading books, remember reading, knowledge is power, man. We got to get into the books. Got to start reading, man. If anybody doesn't have that habit of reading, it's great to read. Go check out JC. He's in the building. Thanks so much for entering, bro. I don't know, Reggie, what do you think about this, man? I mean, this is what I love about, lives. That's what I love about lives. Things just, it's organic. We have bullet points, but then things come out, people start commenting and we just start going off. I love it. What do you think about this, Reggie? I get it. I'm saying? I understand. Yes, I get it. Okay. When it comes to fighters talking so much about things, outlandish things, and they don't do it, a lot of people defend that and say, oh, it's a great marketing strategy. Okay. I get it. Okay. Yes. Money, blah, blah, blah. I get it. But if you're not going to back up what you say, just be quiet. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. I've been to the point where I'm tired of, oh, he's calling out so-and-so. Oh my gosh. So-and-so is calling out so-and-so. And that never happens. Just shut up then. Just be quiet. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of hearing, oh, it's a good marketing strategy. What are you, a businessman with a suit and tie, marketing I understand you got a name. What do you think about this, Reggie? Fighters who call out other fighters and they don't back up what they're calling out, man. What's your input on that, bro?
Man, I stopped following them. Man, my thing is, boxing is too big for me I'm not a fan of no fighter. The last fight I was a fan of was Lennox Lewis and Floyd Mayweather. I became a Floyd Mayweather fighter later down the line. After seeing him prove himself is when I became a fan of Floyd, except I don't follow the flashy and showboaty side of him, but the dude proved himself inside of boxing, and I can never deny him. But I'm not a fan of none of these fighters. The minute they do what they're talking and they don't prove, they speak but don't show and prove, I stop following them. It's too much talent in this game that needs attention, and I'll just start following them or following the guys who are out here doing stuff. But I'm not a fan of no fighter. I ain't a fan because they from my state. I'm not a fan of a fighter because they from my city. I ain't none of that. I like boxing. So I kind of move towards the fighters that are really trying to prove themselves. And a lot of times you get people proving themselves when they're on their way up. It's when you see what they become after they become a champion. Do they think they're bigger than the sport? Do they start developing prima donna type attitudes? Because it's a common thing amongst star and elite level type of opponents. They become too big for themselves and nothing, they don't live up to the standards that they lived up to when they were hungry at one point. But like I say, the fighter who was my favorite fighter of all times, he lived up to that on his way up and as a champion. He fought everybody. You put him out there. If they were considered great, he went out there to fight them. Wasn't none of this needing to build up, letting it marinate, talking a bunch of this and that never happens. So, like I say, boxing is too big of a sport for it to be for one person to be the focus of it. Like if they get that way with this is where I am in life. I'm just like F them, fuck them. Don't give no attention. I don't give attention to people like that. I don't put my focus on individuals like that. So I just move on to the next. It's over 1,000 people out here competing. But the thing is, I wish they put more spotlight on more of the international fighters as well, because I want to know who is the top competition out of Europe. I want to see more European fights. I want to see more fights out of Africa, more fights out of South America, so we know who is who, because boxing is an international sport. So that way, it ain't just being put on people who do all this quarantine tough shit, talking a bunch of this and that, and they living up to it. So it's just, I move on to the next. I sidestep. That's my word. I sidestep bullshit. So that's what I do with fighters who don't live up to it.
Yeah, I agree. I like, for example, this is a brief example, like Keith Thurman. I mentioned a moment ago that, man, Keith Thurman was making big moves in the division, man. You better not duck me, son. You better not. You guys all know what I'm talking about, man. Keith was about it. I mean, a lot of people may criticize him, but back when he was, champ and really making moves in the division, man, my eye was on that cat. You know what I mean? But after that, just like Reggie is saying, if you're not going to start backing up what you say, you just disappear, and then you say you're going to come back and you want to fight so-and-so, and I don't really pay attention to him anymore. So that's it. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? So whoever it is, like he's saying, like Reggie's saying, it doesn't matter where he's from, what state, whatever. A lot of people tend to cheer for those who are from their state. And I mean, it doesn't matter, man. If you're going to back up what you say, great. If not, step aside, we'll find somebody else. There are countless fighters out there. So that's what I do, you know what I'm saying? And I totally agree. Bro. Totally agree with that. Let's get to the chat real quick, man. People just jumping on in. Awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, where did I start here? I don't know how to keep track of where I left off on. Maybe somebody can give me a tip on that. Stormy B is excellent in doing that, by the way. He's excellent in doing that. So is Reggie. I mean, he goes down to the comments and big strain. Okay, yeah, real quick. Okay, so here we go. So let's go back to here. Brusco says big strain on the body going up and down like Canelo. Yeah, when we're talking about fighters moving up and down. Oh yeah, that's when D-Style said yes, no big deal. Okay, real good. So let's go down here. There was something that caught my eye. Storm SSE. Okay. Sorry, I spoke a little Spanish. Stormy B, man, says Bruce goes, yeah, concerning Virgil being 22. True, Stormy. Very true. Be careful. Speaking of on ages, yes, Joshua was 24 when he got his first belt. Whom has he fought since? Yeah, good point. Good point, brother. Boxing conversation. Reggie Owens saluting D-Style. Right here we got Jay Dixon. I hate when guys, skip up and down weight classes when they're when they're competition where they are that haven't faced. Exactly. I mean, I definitely agree, man. You got to clean out the division first. Clean it out. Forget all this nonsense and stupid franchise championship nonsense. Go fight. Clean out the division. Become undisputed. Then you can move on. Exactly, man. Definitely agree. Ortiz been with some good veterans. Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Just JC, salute family. Yes, definitely, bro. Thanks so much. By the way, Stormy B continues. It's more, excuse me, everyone. It's by the way, it's more strain on the body, finding opponents, to not avoid going up and go and down in weight. Canelo, the wall's closing in on your behind. That comes from the OG, brothers. That comes from the OG, ladies and gentlemen. The wall's closing in. Now, I don't know if it has to do with it. A lot of people aren't paying attention on this either, guys. That Canelo, I don't know if you guys have seen it or paid attention that, with all the countless videos and clips that Canelo pushes and, him in the gym, punching the body bag and things like that. He constantly has, this was months ago. I seen it. It was a while ago. And he would constantly have them, some kind of knee straps. I don't know if he has issues with his knees. All right. So that's another thing we got to keep an eye on with Canelo. I personally don't see him too much longer. I'm not saying he's out of his prime. Definitely not. He's in his prime. He's great, but I don't know if he's going to be there longer because just like what Stormy B said, moving up and down in weight and playing with weight like that. I mean, Canelo's really fit, though. I don't know if it's really going to take a toll on him, but it might, you know what I'm saying? So who knows how much longer this is going to, work for Canelo. But yeah, he should definitely pay attention on his weight, man. Moving up and down so much like that, it can be dangerous. Definitely. 20-year-old, excuse me, Brusco says 20-year-old Mike Tyson was something, but look at what it did to him mentally, his worst time. Right. Disagree with that. Reggie Storm B talking about, I don't remember exactly what point Storm B put this on there. I don't remember what exactly it was.
Canelo versus Bud.
Yeah. I think Canelo could take Bud, man. If Bud were to move up, but that's the thing here. I don't think Bud should move up, man. I mean, I think he's great at welterweight right now, man. His weight, I think his body, form and, his structure, his body structure is perfect for welterweight division. Do you think, Reggie, or no? Or is he better moving up?
No, I think Bud belongs at 147. 154, man, Bud will get destroyed. I don't care how good he is at these other weights. He'll get destroyed. And especially if Canelo, he'll have to fight Canelo at 160. Canelo destroyed Blood. Canelo can fight. I know a lot of we dog Canelo because of the tactics of ducking the Charlos and stuff like that, but fighting Bud would be a cakewalk for Canelo. Canelo can punch, devastating power. He'll dog Bud, and he'll be able to connect with Bud. Bud ain't Floyd Mayweather defensively. Canelo will find his target fighting Bud, and he learned a lot from fighting Floyd Mayweather. He'll get him up out of there. He'll dog Bud. He'll take some time, but in my opinion, I think he'll dog Bud. Bud don't want that fight.
Yeah, I think Bud Crawford. But I mean, this is fantasy stuff talk now. I mean, this is fantasy fight stuff because it's not going to happen. I mean, I don't. Even though Bud, like I said, Bud was serious. Bud, I know he's probably not listening to this. Obviously, I mean, it's a small channel, but if it does get to his ears, he said it real clearly and he was serious about it. I mean, Bud ain't no joke. He's not a joker. He doesn't joke around. When he speaks what he means. He means what he says, and he says what he means. That, you know, he speaks from the heart, and he said that. I mean, I got the link in that video. I mean, it's clear as day what he said. You know, and just moving up to 160 would be deadly. I just don't think it's, you know, yeah. So yeah. I mean, yeah. So that it is what it is, right there. I saw that. I can understand now. So Reggie, that's what he was disagreeing. Okay. D Hodges facts. He too short and small for Charlo. Okay, I don't remember what that was about exactly. He too short and small for Charlo. Story B, Bud career would end if, he fought Canelo. Yes, just explained it right now. Nice. 54-year-old Tyson mentally is every bit as okay, messed up, all right? So what you said, we're going to get to that in a moment. We're going to get to that story in a moment, a little bit later in this show. We got one of that as bullet points right there. You guys can check it out right there in the description of the video. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Okay, Bucks conversation, we're absolutely not. All right. All due respect, it's all good. Bud gonna end career at 147. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, you know. Bud is perfect for 147. He's just like a puzzle, you know. Fit, you know, the piece fits the puzzle amazingly at 147 for Bud, and he still has a lot to prove in 147. Bud still has a lot to prove. I mean, the bullet point wasn't about Bud today, but this is great. Bud has a lot to prove at 147. I repeat, Bud has a lot to prove. He has to fight. Okay, Spence, I don't know if that's even going to happen. Monty Brown TV, okay, I love him. Awesome brother. You know, I'm always in his live, just, you know, chatting away with him. But Monty Brown says, and we kind of, you know, disagree on that, but it's all good. I love him. He says, Monty's like, mark my words, you know, I know. Monty Brown TV, love you, brother. And he was saying, I know Bud versus Spence is going to happen in 121. I'm sorry, 121. 2021. And I said, no, it's not going to happen in 2021, man, because all this milking stuff,
Oh, you still there?
Yeah, I'm there. Sorry. So you think the fight's ever going to happen between Bud and Spence, man?
I hope so, but I think they are. It has to happen. It has to happen. I think it has to happen. There's no way that fight doesn't go down, man. That it has to go. It has to happen. Bud's gonna have to start being more vocal, especially speaking and telling Bob Arum what he demands out of him to get in that fight. Yeah, I think it does happen. And me, and this is a weird thing. I wanted to see more out of Earl Spence's career at this division, but I think Bud may beat Earl Spence. I think if they did fight, I think I got Bud beating Earl Spence in his fight, and I have to make it that way just based on, what's the name coming out that damn car accident? Ain't no way I'm about to act blind to that shit. That ain't me. I got Bud beating Earl Spence in his fight. I think he beats him. I hate to see one of them have to lose, but I think Bud's going to beat him. And that matter of fact, that Danny Garcia fight is probably going to be a tough fight for Earl Spence. And like I say, it's a huge unknown of the effects from that car accident of what it had on Earl Spence. So we have to see what comes out of that. But I think if Bud goes into his next fight, he doesn't get in one of them dog war type fights. I got him beating Earl Spence once they come back to thing, but we have to see how Earl looks.
I think that Exactly. I mean, a lot is going to ride on how Spence looks against Danny Garcia. Obviously, styles make fights. Bud is a way different fighter than Danny Garcia, obviously. But I think that's going to determine a lot and where Spence is at. Now, a lot of people are seeing the negative side of Spence in the accident, but I personally see it like this, that, excuse me, a lot of people saying that, I'm not saying that you're saying it, Reggie, no, but a lot of people in general saying it because I've heard it from different media sources and stuff like that, channels, whatever, that it may have affected him negatively. But on the flip side, I see it differently, right? It's just like any life-changing experience, but Spence even has explained it in that fashion that, this really woke me up. And, if this can help Spence improve. You know what I'm saying? This accident probably really did. I mean, I don't doubt Spence. I think he really did open his eyes up. And if that's true, I think that, he's going to be a better fighter in the ring. He's going to be more alert, more awake, training a little bit more seriously. I'm not saying they never trained seriously. No, but this probably is just going to take him to another level. If that's true, and just like Reggie's saying, a lot, we got to see how he fights against Danny. If he gives an amazing performance against Danny, if he just mollywops Danny, then I don't know, man. I'm going for Spence, dude. I think Spence will take Bud, and I think it's going to be like this. If they fight in 2021, which I doubt, 2022, if there's no world catastrophe, with all the crazy stuff that's going on in the world right now, Lord willing, 2022, that's how I shoot. I think the fight's going to be around that time, man. So if we live to see that day, hopefully we'll be all good, thankfully, and stuff like that. So that day comes, and they fight. They're standing toe to toe, ready to go. The referee is saying, all right, low blows here, low blows there, crowd going wild and just, ready to see the fight. I think the fight would be going out like a Spence versus Brook. I think it's just going to be like that, man. I think there's going to be some skill in the first few rounds, and then just the levels of the pressure is going to build more, and then they're just going to start going at it. Maybe not just fighting only, but they're going to be boxing at the same time. But I think it's going to be I think it's going to go out like a Spence Brook, man, and someone's going to go down. Someone's going to get hurt. and I think Spence got it, man. But I'm not discrediting. I don't know, man. I got Spence in the fight. But it's going to be a heck of a fight. It's going to be a war. But I just don't think it's going to happen until 2022, guys. I don't know. When? Okay, just to top this part off, Reggie, when do you think it will happen? Because, but like you said, Bud needs to be more vocal. He's not vocal. That's the thing. He's not being vocal with Bob. I think it's on the contrary. Bob is being more vocal and drowning out Bud's voice. Bud ain't speaking up, man. I mean, that's the problem. It looks like he's comfortable. That's what makes me talk about at the beginning of this point that we're talking about with Bud and Spence. That's what makes me think it's not going to happen, because Bud excuse me, he seems comfortable. He's comfortable fighting these guys, Bean Machine, whatever we want to call him. All due respect, Khan, Benavidez. I mean, come on, bro. Come on, Bud. We love you, man. But, that's not cutting it. And I think he thinks he's just comfortable. And he's not. That's why he's not vocal. That's why he's not vocal. He's vocal to media. Oh, I want to fight Spence. I want to fight, I want to. Yeah, we get it, bro. But say that to Bob. Go confront Bob. I'm not saying he's not, but I just think he's comfortable, bro. That's what makes me doubt this fight will happen, because what happens, in a couple years down the line, 3 years, 2 years, 2022, how old will Bud be in 2022? You know what I'm saying? And who knows if he's going to be in his prime at that time. How old is Bud right now, Reggie?
I think, ain't he 32? I believe he's 32.
Let me Google this real fast, man. So let me just bear with me, everybody. Bear with me. Just a couple seconds. Here we go. Hold on. Bud Crawford age. Just bear with me a moment, you guys. 32. 34. Okay, so he'll be around 34 by the time they fight. Okay, this is just my prediction, all right? It's not set in stone, all right? It's not engraved in stone. They're not going to fight 2021, guys. I don't see it. If they do, heck yeah. Oh, yes. I mean, if they do, heck yeah, all right? But if they fight in 2022, he's going to be around 34. He'll still be up there, but I just don't know, man. When do you think, Reggie, this may happen?
Wait, what is this, 2020? I think it should happen probably summer next year. It has to happen. And they just have to accept the fact that boxing ain't going to return to crowds. They just got to be – they just going to have to be open to it just being the way that boxing looks now and getting it on. It can't wait too long. It just can't. And they can't take things for granted. We see what COVID then brought to the world. They have to get up on top of these things because ain't no telling what else type of godlike events or whatever you call them can happen and derail things. This is why they can't take these things for granted. So hopefully, I'm thinking summer next year, this fight gets announced after they both come out of their next fights.
That's the problem, though. You know, we can go on and on with Bud and Spence, and so many channels do it. You know what I mean? Because it's worth speaking about. But that's the problem, is that this whole milking foolishness. I don't call it foolishness and on behalf of business wise, whatever, because it's smart. But for us fans and for the sport of boxing, it's not good. You know, this whole milking. Mayweather blueprint, whatever they want to call it, Mayweather Pacquiao blueprint, milk the fight, wait for the right time. It's going to make it's going to, you know, duplicate the money. It's going to be 100% more profit if you wait another 2 years. And, you know, we're going to build it up. We're going to keep trash talking between each other and let's just build it up. You know, that makes me really disappointed. And the reason why I say this is because that's what I think is what they're doing. And that's why it's taking so long. That's why it's going to take until 2022. Okay. I think it's too soon, bro. Next year, summer, I don't know, dude. I mean, I hope it does. Let's hope for the best, guys. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope that happens, man. Definitely. Let's get to the chat real fast. Thanks, Renee. Of course, JC. Thanks for what, bro? We're family, bro. Yeah, no. I thought this was a troll channel. No, bro. That's his real backup channel. So go subscribe. Yeah. So he's building it up. He's building it up. Yep, right there. Yeah, no, it's a backup page. Definitely. Yeah, with trolls making counts off other. Yeah. So we got here Stormy B. Man, Bud can box. He can defeat Canelo with footwork, which is Canelo's. Yeah, Achilles. Yeah, a boxer with mobility. Remember, Bud only has to be victorious, not knock him out. Everything Mayweather did to him, Bud can be, man. But, you know, we went up to 160. I don't know if he can move around that much at 160, but who knows, right? I mean, who knows? I mean, but like I said, I don't think it's going to happen, man. You know, I don't know why Bud said that, but I don't think it's going to happen. Jab Jamboree. Go subscribe to Brother the Jab Jamboree. The judge is in the building. The judge is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Go subscribe to the Jab Jamboree, everybody. JC, I got favorites. They keep me interested in sport. Yeah, that's definitely. That's right on, bro. That's right on. Oh my gosh, I just left. Okay, so we got the Jab Jamboree again. We're gonna get on to the next bullet point right here, right now in a moment. Why are they disliking your live, bro? I don't know, because we're speaking the truth, brother. We're speaking the truth. You know why? Ak? It's because they entered when they heard Canelo, and then they misinterpreted things, and they didn't hear the context of what we're talking about. So that's why. I was just kidding, bro. I don't know. You know, they're haters everywhere, but we love them. It's all good, man. Whatever. Canelo couldn't fight Floyd to connect with, but Canelo would connect a lot. Yeah, I like Bud. Yeah, definitely. Bud's awesome. Bud's awesome, man. We give him all his credit, but he's not surviving a fight with Canelo. I mean, I agree, man. I agree. The PEDs eating the cartilage up on that. Oh, man. That's why he has them knee straps, right? Man, he just put it out there, definitely, man. The last weight for Bud, 154, his max. Last weight for Bud. What is that? His walking weight though? Like his walk around weight? So maybe he can, you know, move up. Maybe he can. What in the heck makes you think he like why you guys shortchanged Bud so much? Man, Bud's awesome. Definitely. Kind of late, no devastating puncher. What you smoke? Oh man, Reggie, it's still going back at it. I feel you guys. It's all good. I'm not shortchanging Bud. No, definitely, man. Bud, he got all the skills, man. He's amazing. But I'm not going to blindly prop him up against Canelo. Yeah, I feel you, man. I have Bud over Canelo. Errol. Yeah, I got Errol, bro. But we'll see. We'll see. Bud too short and small for Charlo. Okay, man. There's so much here. Let's get to the next point. All right, let's get to the next point. I want to get to this real fast, guys, because there's several other points I want to talk about, and time is just flying, man. So, all right, guys, real quick. Excuse me. We got the PBC just stacked cards for the next few months, man. This is awesome. PBC is just Al is playing chess, not checkers. Al Heyman is playing chess, not checkers. Now, I just want to focus on a couple of these fights because there are just so many fights in these cards, man. This is awesome. Awesome stuff. Can't wait. Jermell versus Rosario, bro. Who do you got, Reggie?
Hey, that's going to be a good one right there. Rosario's strong dude. I think they got styles to me that match up well. It's gonna be a great matchup. I think Charlo can't get dragged into a fight, into Rosario's style of fight. He has to listen to Derrick James. He has to go into being more effective of a boxer, man. Charlo gets pulled too much into trying to knock people out. And I think that's one of the things he faced going into Harrison bout. Harrison being an effective boxer, Harrison was schooling the fuck out of Charlo. Ain't no way eventually he got the knockout, but that's landing one punch. You can't always depend on that. But he was being schooled. This dude, Rosario's a very strong dude. Don't think he's going to be a dude to get knocked out of there. And also Rosario being with the one knockout, a lot of people are like, oh, he got knocked out by Gallimore. But when he fought Gallimore, he was a young fighter. And that's once again pointing back to young fighters getting too hyped, too full of smelling themselves and trying to move up too fast. But this kid coming in there where he faced J-Rock couldn't do nothing against this dude. Couldn't move this dude out the way for nothing. Then the cuts opened up, and I think that kind of changed a lot for J-Rock. But J-Rock was also feeling the power from that dude. Like J-Rock could get hit with punches, and he'll get that look like whoa, like what the hell was that? Like, so the dude shows he packs a tremendous damn punch. Him and Charlo. Charlo's another strong fighter, but Charlo has tools that he has to dig in to separate himself from this dude. But I want to see Charlo based on I like Charlo more than Rosario, but I'm not going to count Rosario out. Like I say, I'm a fan of boxing shit, and I understand anything can happen. I'm going for Charlo, but Charlo is a dude who sometimes get pulled out of his game plan. He is kind of shifted away from being a boxer. Both him and his brother, they get in here to slugging. They're very strong. They have great motors. They can go to full 12, great cardio, so they can push the fight. But I think Charlo can just start to wear this dude down. I think Charlo has to. I wish that's what Charlo start getting into more of just systematically breaking fighters down. And I think if he can implement that, just going into boxing, breaking these dudes down, I think Rosario is a guy he can break down rather than engaging in something that works for Rosario. Because on Rosario being strong and all that, I don't see too many ripples in Rosario's games. I'm not sure how many tools he has in the bags, and Charlo can probably pull something out on this dude and just effectively break him down. Now Charlo going here trying to slug with this dude, it can probably turn out bad. So he just has to do it because, like stated, the way he went in there fighting Harrison didn't look so good. But we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a tough fight, but I want Charlo to win. So that's who I'm going for. But it ain't guaranteeing. This is what I like. This is a real 50-50 matchup, in my opinion. It ain't that crap that we've been seeing from Top Rank. So I like this matchup. It's tough for me to give full certainty on who's going to win, but I like Charlo in this one.
Real quick question, which is going to relate to, you'll see, guys, you'll see in a moment why. Reggie, who did you have winning in Charlo versus Harrison in the first fight? Who did you have winning, apart from what the judges said? Did you have Harrison winning that one, or did you think it could have gone either way, the first fight?
I had Charlo winning it. Watching it the first time when I reviewed it, watched it the second time, it was closer, but I still had Charlo winning it. So I think he ended up getting robbed because I just think, but it wasn't based on Charlo landing more punches. Once again, Charlo was messing up a lot of his work, overcommitting, trying to knock this guy's head off rather than boxing him. Even in that first fight, Harrison was hitting Charlo with some jabs that stopped him in his place. He boxed well, but to me, he didn't do enough. But he came back in that second fight, Harrison, and he was separating. Let me stop this dog. Stop. But he came in that second fight, and he separated himself from Charlo. It was just that Charlo being resilient, Charlo being in great cardio shape, being able to press the action and got that one punch in there when Harrison, who falls asleep in fights, got to playing around too much, got clipped, and it changed the fight. But other than that, he made Charlo look bad. He schooled the hell out of Charlo. But yeah, I thought that first fight, Charlo was, I would say he was robbed in that first fight. He lucky he was able to land this punch and be in a good shape to get that punch to land in that second fight, because otherwise he was being schooled by a guy I thought he was cheated in that first fight.
Yeah, that's what I want to ask, because in the first fight, I said after that, I don't even remember if I made a post-fight video. I don't remember it, or in comments and in social media and stuff like that. I thought that since Harrison, according to the scorecards, he won by the skin of his teeth. I personally thought that Charlo won, and just for the fact that, they called out and knew, I was like, nah, man, that was by the skin of his teeth, man. So then they rematched, and Harrison was working Charlo nicely. He was boxing him out. He was boxing him out wonderfully. He was doing great. He was doing pretty good on the inside. And like you said, he found the right time, and boom. I think he waited too long. Charlo waited too long. The reason why I say this is because if he falls into that error, I don't know if call it error, but if he falls into that game plan, okay, if he brings that game plan, I correct myself, it's not an error, but I mean, if he uses that same game plan against Rosario, I don't think it's going to work, man. I mean, because that's the thing. I don't think Charlo should come into fighting Rosario with the game plan of I'll just catch him at the right, and knock him out. No. Rosario, he seems like a great fighter on the inside, like he did to J-Rock. I mean, he's a tough kid, man. He's a tough fighter, tough champion. So, but let me say this. That remember, excuse me, remember this has happened time and time again, because we know that in this era, in this generation, Wilder is not one of them, because Wilder in the heavyweight division, he has defended his title for years. I mean, he has defended that title for a while, man, a while. So he's not one of them. He doesn't fall into that. There are other fighters, champions that do quite a bit of former champions. Let me correct that. Former champions that have fallen to this, what I'm going to say right now, that remember, this is just a quick example. Remember Alvarez, Eleider Alvarez, when he fought Kovalev for the first time, he beat him, right? This was a while ago. And what happened? He got quite careless between rematching between the first fight and the second and the rematch against Kovalev. He got a little too careless in between fights. Looks like he didn't train as he should have. I mean, he should have just blown Kovalev out the park in the rematch with Eleider Alvarez between Kovalev. But it looked like Alvarez didn't really prepare, got too confident. So same thing with Andy Ruiz against Joshua. Y'all know the story. This happens time and time again, okay? This can happen with Rosario, okay? This can happen. There's a possibility. Rosario can be basking in the sun a little bit too much, on the side of the beach with those belts, laying next to them belts. Maybe he's not focused. Maybe he will fall into that error. Maybe he will fall into that trap of getting too comfortable. I'm champ now. I'm on top. Let's relax a little bit. Let's not train as hard. I'll beat the next fight. Do you think he'll fall into that, Reggie, or do you think it's going to be all game like he did against J-Rock?
Man, that's always the possibility, man, with winning these titles, getting them checks. And that's impossible, man. That's another thing you can't overlook, because it's common in the sport. So it could happen. Hopefully he don't, to where we get a half-ass fight. We want to see the best fighting, the best being they put the best work into going into a fight. But what you brought up is always that sad possibility that happens in the sport, is people coming in, getting too relaxed, happy with the money they made, cutting corners. So that's possible for Rosario to go into, but hopefully Rosario doesn't forget where he came from, and he recognizes what got there, because what got him there going into that camp and the sacrifice he made, how restricted that camp was, him being the sacrifice, being away from the family, he's gonna have to go right back into that. So hopefully that's what he does coming into this fight.
Now let's remember, Charlo, okay, I think the only error he can fall into when he comes into this fight with Rosario is that what I just said a moment ago, waiting for the right punch. He has to use his jab more, be active, boxing out Rosario intelligently. And, that right punch is going to come in the right time. Definitely. Now, this is something that, that's the only potential disadvantage I see with Charlo. Okay. The advantage everybody knows. And this is a thing here I want to talk about, which people really aren't talking about that. Charlo is going to come into this fight, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone is tuning in. Charlo is going to come into this fight 100. Why? Because he knows what it is to lose. And he knows what it is. He's not going to want to lose again. He's going to fight as a starving lion in that ring. He's hungry. Okay. I think that loss fueled the fire more for Charlo. I think that loss that Charlo got, it fueled the fire more because remember in the buildup to the rematch with Harrison, he was talking a lot about how he got robbed. He was mad, he was mad. You can see the fire in his eyes, man. And when he came in that rematch, even though Harrison was doing quite well, man, he just laid it on him, And I think that when in this fight, I guess I can say I know, right? I am sure, I am confident that when Charlo steps in the ring with Rosario, he's going to be more than 100%. And Charlo is not the type it looks like he's not the type to slack off. You know what I mean? Now, much less if he is slacking off, if he has slacked off in his past, I'm sure he's not even thinking about slacking off anymore because he lost before and he knows what it is to taste the loss and to be robbed because he felt he was robbed. And a lot of people feel he was robbed. So I think he's going to come into this fight more than ready. Rosario better be on his A game. He better be on his A game. What do you think about that, Reg? Do you think that loss has helped Charlo a lot mentally?
Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah. He's determined. He's determined by this game. Nothing. And plus he got a twin that they drive each other. There's a little bit of sibling, wouldn't say rivalry, but competition between them two to be becoming great in the sport. So they both drive each other. They both lift each other. The only in making sure they're 100% going to fight is never a question for them. Their thing is following game plan and not getting pulled into slugfest or going against the grain when it comes to game plan, but always on point when it comes to being in shape with those dudes. Never a question on that part.
Man, those guys are lions. I love them. I didn't see. Okay, I don't want to get off topic, right? But this is we're talking about right now. Jermell, okay. If I remember correctly, it was Jermell, not Jermell. Jermell, when he was faced with Jacobs, right? When Jacobs came and confronted him, I don't think Jacobs is scared of. I'm sorry. On the contrary, I don't think Jermell doesn't want to fight Jacobs. Did you think that? Because a lot of people go back to that. When people talk about Jermell, sometimes people come up and talk about, no, did you see when Jacobs faced him and he was just like a little puppy and I don't think Jermell doesn't or didn't want to fight Jacobs. Did you see that, bro? That came to my mind right now because like what you're saying right now, Charlo's, that's why I love them. They're always ready. They're always in shape. They're always fight ready, man. They want to fight. They love the sport, and you can see that in them. That's why I like these guys, man. So, do you see that? Did you think that Jermell Charlo, when he was confronted by Jacobs, that Jermell was kind of like showing he didn't want to fight him?
No, I think what happened is he was, because they always rah when they always volatile, rah. But when Jacobs walked up on him at that moment, all that rah stuff became deflated. So I think that's what people got from that is that he wasn't so rah. He didn't really back down, but he did quiet down a lot of stuff. And the way Jacobs came at him, it was just something that I believe threw him off. But that would be a good fight too. That'd be a real good fight. But I think Jacobs caught him to where he kind of hushed up a lot of that stuff that was kind of common to be seen with the Charlos, them being loud and always acting hostile and stuff. Jacobs kind of tamed that, is from what people seen, but I don't think it was something out of fear. I think it was something that he just got caught off guard at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. Now let's get to the next point. So, okay. So real quick, just to top this off, just to conclude. So you see Mel, Charlo, and Rosario 50-50?
Yeah, I think that's going to be a tough fight. But I got Charlo to win. I want Charlo to win that fight.
Me too, definitely. I'm going for Charlo, but it's going to be great, man. Rosario better be on your A game. You better be on your A game, man. Definitely. That's a definite one. Now, another PBC card, and then we're going to conclude after this. After we're going to talk about this main event card, this main event fight, and then we're going to go to another mini bullet point, and then we're going to close it. Leo Santa Cruz versus Tank. Okay. Now, in my, I did a video on this already. My thumbnail says it all. Okay. I kind of like to, you know what I was going to do? I was going to, okay, Jay Hodges going for Charlo there. Yeah. Real quick. Let me get to this real fast. Okay. Jay Dixon, J-Rock has a baby chin and in my opinion, got more credit for beating, Hurd. Yeah. The punching bag than he deserved. So J-Rock, so he got more credit for beating her. Can be, bro. Can be. It was a great fight, though, but it was tailor-made for, yeah, definitely. Herd's style was definitely made. Hunchback style going forward, man, that just opened up for a lot of opportunity for J-Rock to attack. Charlo said to his face, "You drop your fight, I'll drop mine, and we can fight next." And Jacob said, that's the reason. Yeah, thank you, Jay Dixon. Thank you. Because Jacobs started talking about money. No, it's not about money, Jacobs. It's about fighting him, and that's it. Stop talking about, oh, no, I'm touching M's. So no. He was like saying, in other words, you got to move up to touching M's, and then we can fight. No, dude, it's not about that. You got to fight the best, and that's it. I personally think Charlo's got Jacobs if they fought, man. Charlo got him, man. But that's what made me, I didn't want to touch up on, want to continue that topic, but that's true. That's what made me bring that up a little bit, because I think Charlo, he's not scared at all of Jacobs, because Jacobs is the one that started talking about money at the end and alluding to, no, you got to move up to touching M's, man. Then I'll fight you. No. It's talking about fighting now. Why are you confronting him then? Fight now, get it arranged and get to business. You know what I'm saying? Start fighting. So yeah, that's what I feel about that. So what was I talking about? Yeah. Okay, so the thumbnails I make, I was gonna make a thumbnail on the live that I called the live fight, the live that I did the other day with Virgil Ortiz versus Vargas. I did a live, and I do thumbnails for my lives, and I had them standing face to face. If you guys didn't check it, go check it out. It's on my channel. The live session, the last fight, I called out the last fight, okay, with Virgil and Vargas, and check out the thumbnail there. And they're standing face to face. They're just standing like that, right? In my logo, Renee Box Young. So I was going to do this, but I thought, nah, it's kind of disrespectful. I didn't want to do. Okay. I was going to put Virgil Ortiz like throwing a punch and Vargas like on the floor or getting punched. Okay. Because I was like, Virgil's going to dominate this guy. That's what I thought. And I did it with the breakdown I did with Leo Santa Cruz and Tank Davis. I did it as a visual of my prediction. That's how I did it. It's not to disrespect anybody. No, it's not to disrespect Leo. Not at all. Go check out that video. Okay. Check out the thumbnail I did with Tank and Leo Santa Cruz. And it has a commentator on the bottom screaming KO. Okay. Because that's just a visual interpretation of my prediction. That's how I see it. Okay. So I see this fight playing out between Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz as that. I kind of see it as, like I said, guys, I always say this, but it's just to give you guys a visual idea. so you can visualize it. I kind of see it as what we're talking about right now, J-Rock versus Hurd. I kind of see it like that. But Santa Cruz is a lot more, he throws a lot more punches, a lot. He throws a lot of punches. If you go back to Leo Santa Cruz, okay, go back to Leo Santa Cruz and Mares, the first fight and the rematch. Go back to Leo Santa Cruz and Frampton, the first fight and the rematch. Well, no. Did they fight 3 times? There was a trilogy, right, Reggie? Or was it 2 fights with Frampton? Leo Santa Cruz and Frampton. Was it 3 fights?
That I don't know. I didn't even know they fought.
Hold on. Hold on, all right? Hold on. Wait a second, guys. Wait a second. Let me just bear with me again. Let me pull this up. Because I did fight. I did see those fights. I just don't remember if it was. I'm sorry. It was 2 fights. Sorry, it was 2 fights. Okay, so Carl Frampton. Okay, so it was first fight with Carl Frampton. This was back. I just looked it up real quick. Back in 2016. Back in 2017, they fought again. Carl Frampton and Abner Mares also. Okay, so Leo Santa Cruz fought Abner Mares twice. Leo Santa Cruz fought Frampton twice. When you go back to those fights, and you'll get a good idea of Leo Santa Cruz's style. Sorry about the dogs in the background. They're out there barking. You'll get an idea of Leo Santa Cruz's style. He likes to throw a lot of punches. He likes to just go in there and fight face to face, which is not the wisest thing to do, okay? Depending on your opponent. He goes forward like hunchback, kind of like Hurd. Not hunchback, but like, Leo's a little bit more hunchback, but not Hurd, but like hunched over, like a Triple G. Hurd, Leo Santa Cruz, they got that similarity when they go in on their opponent. You do that against Tank. You do that against Tank Davis. It's not going to fare well for Leo Santa Cruz, man. I vision it like this. I envision it like that. Leo Santa Cruz coming hunched in and just boom. Tank is fast. He has power. He's no joke, when he attacks. So I see it happening like that throughout the fight. I see Leo trying to throw them just crazy flurries. And, Tank is just going to use his great footwork. He's going to throw some vicious uppercuts. He, hooks while he throws them flurries, at an angle, boom, and throw a hook, bam. I think Leo is going to face power he hasn't faced before. I think he's going to get phased. I think he's going to get rocked. But you got to balance that out with Davis. Is he really preparing for this fight? Is he undermining Leo and saying, nah, I'll just flick him out the way like all my other opponents? It's all good. I won't take, that's another thing that we're talking about, the discipline again. So that's another disadvantage. That's one disadvantage I see with Tank Davis. He's a great all-around fighter in that ring. I can't really say too much against that. But in between the fights, what is he doing right now? Is he training? Is he preparing, really? Or is he undermining Leo Santa Cruz? So that's how I see the fight going. But if he doesn't take care of himself, if he doesn't really train like he should, Leo might win by a decision, unanimous decision at the end of the fight, by points. Definitely not by a knockout. Of course not. But who knows? Anything can happen, right? What do you think, Reggie? How do you see this fight going out?
Ben, we was talking about Bud versus Canelo earlier.
Yeah.
This is going to be an example of that. I got Tank beating the dog crap out of Leo Santa Cruz. Leo ain't got that style Leo fights in, that rapid style, throwing a bunch of punches that really doesn't back any of the opponents he's ever fought. It's just through attrition, him with quick speed, faster hands, being able to outpoint opponents. You got to put something on Tank to get him up off of you. And a lot of these guys don't have nothing to keep Tank up off of him. Tank being much bigger, a dude who struggles with weight, is just naturally stronger. And they're doing everything to make sure Tank can come down and weight properly. I think this fight is in October. I think he will get the weight up off of him, be effective, maintain his strength going into this fight. And it's going to be bad for Leo, in my opinion. But this is also a fight that shouldn't be taking place between neither one of them. I think it's a fight where they seem to me to be avoiding who they should be fighting. Leo been ducking a lot of opponents he should have been fought, who he should have been fought. He should have fought Rigo. He should be fighting Gary Russell instead of Tank. He's avoiding that fight. Tank shouldn't be moving down in weight. to fighting a Leo Santa Cruz. He should be fighting the Tiafimos, the Devin Haney's, the Ryan Garcias, the Lomachenkos is who Tank's supposed to be fighting. But now here he is moving down in weight, trying to find easy pickings down at 130, I believe is where he left. And I think, is Leo moving up to 130, or is he a champion at 130? But either way, to me, this is a fight that neither one of them should be fighting. They're supposed to be fighting in their respective weights against respective challengers who've been calling them out. But I think Tank is going to dust Leo Santa Cruz off. I don't care how fast his hands is. Tank got fast hands, great defensive abilities, great counter reflexes. He finds openings real quick. His reflexes are just as swift, along with a popping punch. I think he gonna dog Leo Santa Cruz. But once again, to me, they shouldn't be fighting each other.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And that's the thing. This can be okay. Real quick, for example, okay, J Funky Boxing. Okay, G Funky is saying I'm taking Leo over Tank. Whoa, buddy. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's all good. It's all good. What do you have to say? Elaborate on that. So he says, if Tank, and that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying earlier. That if Tank takes Leo lightly, exactly, he's gonna have a long life. That's what I think. I think that if Tank just sees this as easy pickings, we saw what happened with Gamboa. He went for a while. It looked like he got kind of gassed out because obviously he didn't make weight. He wasn't maybe in tip-top shape. If that happens against Leo might take the win, man. Not a knockout, obviously, but that's just how I see it. That's how I see it. But if Tank really comes in ready, but that's going to be hard, that weight, man. That weight issue is the thing here, man. If he doesn't come in shape, well, I already spoke it, but if he does come in shape and he's ready, I think he's going to blow Leo out the park. So, I mean, real quick, they're fighting for, it's interesting because they're fighting for 2 titles, man. They're fighting for 130 because Santa Cruz, like what you're saying right now, Reggie, he has the 130 WBA belt, and they're going to fight for the 135 belt also. So it's going to be 2 titles on the line. Interesting stuff. I don't know. I don't recall hearing that for a while. I don't know. But it's going to be for 130 and 135 WBA, if I'm not mistaken. So like 2 belts at the same time, different divisions. So that's kind of weird, but it's interesting, I guess. Yeah. So they're going to be fighting for that. So that's how I see the fight going out. That's how I see the fight. It's just, for me, it's conditional. For me, it's conditional, just depending on how Tank comes about, right? Hopefully he's really, ready to go, man. If he's ready to go, I just see Leo just being blown out the park. Definitely, man. Blown out of here, man. So, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens with that fight. All right, man. So to top this live stream off, we're almost going 2 hours. Amazing. I love this stuff. So, all right. That's why I left it for last. This is why I left it for last. It wasn't the first thing to talk about. No, it wasn't the first thing. It wasn't. Real quick. Okay, G Funky, real fast. What do you got to say, bro? Let's just real fast. Just to top this out. All right. Let me just click on this. Leo did. Yeah. Rigo and Russell, but he ain't ducking Tank. Yeah. Good point, Leo. Good. Oh, Lawrence Williams is in the building. Lawrence, what is good, bro? Thank you so much. Remember, guys, get them likes up. Subscribe to my channel. Check me out. Go subscribe. Go check the content out. Go check. Remember, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens 2. There's his comment right there. There's his icon. Yep, there it is. 2. Number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. If you didn't catch it at the beginning of the live, we talked about it. Why he has 2. So go check it out. Go check why, but go check out 2. Lawrence Williams, thanks so much for get them likes up. We got some haters, man. They disliked a couple, disliked the video here, this live. Like I said, maybe because we said Canelo. Oh, maybe because we said Canelo. Oh, no. This is a hater. A hater. Nah, man. Yeah.
It still helps the viewership. So that's why I always say in my videos, hit thumbs up, hit dislike. I can give 2 fucks what they hit. It still pushes your videos, and everybody ain't gonna like everything. So I say fuck them. Hit whatever you want.
Yeah. Here, them haters. It's all good. So here we go. Let's get to the last point here, guys. And like I said, I left it for the last bullet point. This is the last thing we're talking about. It's last for a reason, all right? With all due respect, though, Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. I spoke my mind about it in other videos. If you guys haven't checked the video, go check it out. I was playing around, but there was truth behind it. I was being sarcastic and joking about it, but there was some truth behind it. It's a 19-second video. Okay, it's Roy Jones Jr. He's training, giving footwork tips and advice to Chris Eubanks Jr. Chris Eubank Jr. I gotta make a video on Chris Eubank Jr. But anyways, I think I've done it before. Like Reggie said, I like to focus on also. I like to bring to light international fighters, and Chris is one of them that I want to talk about later, some other time. But he was giving footwork tips in a ring to Chris Eubank Jr. They were going side to side. And I was saying, wow, look at that. He's amazing. Who can he fight? He can take out all the top heavyweights. You know how recently we've been seeing, recent months we've been seeing, there's a clip on Mike Tyson. This came months ago. The first clip on Mike Tyson, showing, giving advice to people in the streets or whatever, UFC fighters, and people saying, he still has it. Who would you like to see him fight? See it time and time again with Mayweather, right? Mayweather punches a bag in the gym. Oh my gosh, is he coming back? Oh my God. It's like, come on, man, drop all this nonsense, all this hype. You know what I mean? And that's why I made that video about Roy Jones. I was joking about it, but there was truth behind it. What happens? Now he's going to fight an exhibition fight. I knew something was going to happen. I knew it. That's why I titled that video, Is Roy Jones Jr. Coming Back? I knew it. And this was way before everybody even thought about Roy Jones Jr. coming back. I was playing, but I knew that something was going to happen. Something in the back of my head was telling me Roy Jones Jr. is going to come back. Something was telling me that. Something just told me. So this exhibition is going to happen. It's going to be an exhibition fight. What do you think about all this, Reggie? What's going on? What do you think about this, man?
Tyson, Holyfield, what's the name? Roy Jones. It's being done because these other fighters won't fight each other. They won't fight each other. So it leaves an avenue for sports and entertainment, the sideshow entertaining side of boxing, the fantasy matches, and seeing these old guys who have legacy status in the sport coming together because we left the door open for casual fans people love a fight. And that's the thing about it. People love a fight. They're going to always be entertained by a fight. And when you can't get top tier talent, top level, equally matched fighters within boxing to fight each other, they're going to go over to watching the buffoonish side of things. You see what happened with KSI, Logan Paul coming in the game. Because why? Boxers who won't fight each other, leave a door open for this stuff. Because the one thing, people love a fight. And that's what I'm saying. Boxing can be the biggest thing out here, but it doesn't happen because too many people that stand in the way of the game. They don't keep the game to where the game is proper and right. And that's like I was saying on Stormy B, man, when we did the show. Nothing trumps boxing. You can go to a football game, a fight breakout. People are going to be more entertained by the fight than by the football match. You can't bring a football game inside of a fight and think people are going to turn away from the fight if it's an entertaining and good fight to watch the football game. Same thing in a basketball game. A fight will pull people's attention away from that basketball game. A basketball game ain't gonna pull people's attention away from a good fight. And that's what happened when you're not getting good fights that are happening. People are gonna go to seeing some out of shape, way past the prime, old guys with legacy getting it on. And that's what happened. Same thing with two YouTubers can talk a bunch of big talk, get inside the ring, put on a big fight that drew millions of people into it. But because of these boxers standing their way, them not having an understanding or a picture of seeing what's good for the future, what's good for boxing, even these promoters F themselves off. If these promoters did what Don King used to do, man, they can blow the goddamn game apart. And they can hit back on basketball. More people attract to big fight events. You see more celebrities come to big fights when these are important fights. Then you see them at any other sports major close to the season and stuff. Boxing is where it's at. But it's until these fools start getting in there with it, these other people will always have a lane to come and do these sideshow things. Mayweather still has an avenue for it, but people waiting for these guys to pass the torch to them. You don't need them to pass the torch. Take the torch, make your damn name, open the lane for yourself, and a lot of people ain't doing that. But that's why we're getting this event. But in this one, I think. And just think about it, they both gonna be juiced up in this thing. I think if Tyson can last at least 3 rounds, he gonna win that fight. He gonna probably stop Roy.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I haven't seen it like that. That because we're not seeing the best fights, this opens up a door. So I haven't seen it like that. I didn't see it like that. The boxing community is like, okay, so if we're not seeing the best fighters more like that, right? Old fighters like, Tyson and Holyfield and Joe. Want the old legends come back, you know what I mean? So it looks like that's happening. I didn't see it like that. So it is definitely opening up a door because look at the platform they're using, Triller. And look at this is just a big door for them, a big door. And what's cool about it, what's cool about this is that Mike Tyson, all the money that's being made, it's going to charity. So that's awesome. I think that's cool. It's for a good cause. You know what I mean? It's for charity. So I think that's cool. And he even said, Mike Tyson, I don't remember the exact words, but he said something like, you don't have to worry about me making money. You don't have to worry about me making money off this. This is all going to charity. He's well off anyway. So that's cool. I think that's really cool. So, but Reggie, you think they're going to be juicing?
Hell yeah. Look at Tyson. Tyson already on that shit. Ain't no way Tyson goes from being bloated the way he was bloated to now he's ripped up looking in the condition that he's in right now. Those are the performance enhancers that are doing that. Of course he's doing that. They ain't got to adhere to VADA and none of that stuff. That is all voluntary stuff for people to do drug testing. So and this guy's 54. A 50-year-old person body doesn't spring back like that. So yeah, he had the assistance of these enhancing drugs to get him to where he's at right now.
Sometimes I'm a gullible guy. Sometimes I'm a naive guy. I didn't think they would be juicing. And yeah, that's crazy. So they're probably going to be juiced up to the gills, man. So this is going to be I guess there's going to be some action in this. Excuse me. I think Tyson's going to really put that work on Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr., man, was a legend, man. I love my amazing fighter in the ring, man. Wow. Speaking of what you were saying a moment ago, Jake Paul, whatever the heck that dude's name is, Jake Paul is going to fight some NBA player in the undercard. What's going on? What the heck is this? What is this? Okay. What do you think about that, bro? I don't know. I can't find the words.
It's a lane for these stuff because of what these top level fighters ain't doing. It's a level for it. Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson. It's a lane for it. And it's the fault. It's the hold on, I got it playing in the background. And it's the fault of the boxers. It's the fault of the promoters, and it's the fault of the sanctioning bodies that there's not more to forcing people in there. People ought to be stripped of things if they're not going in there fighting people at whatever rank they are. There should be strict structures to ranking system, making sure people are fighting, strict structures to making sure champions are fighting other champions, and more unifying of the belts. And if you don't get it, then promoters can suffer because you can get more of these KSI dudes who grow millions of subscribers on channels and decide they want to fight another person with 1 million subscribers, and people are going to watch that, and they're going to make millions upon millions independently away from a promoter, and and it's just going to happen. But the fighters and everybody else can blame themselves. And salute to them for being smart enough to figure out there's a lane to this stuff, because like I said, nothing on this earth is more exciting than fighting. Nothing is. But when you do it right, it'll pay you right. And so far, what is that called? The exhibition side thing then opened up a huge lane for itself. And that's due to Bob Arams, Oscar, the Canelos. Who else out there they call ducking? Whoever's out there ducking. Keith Thurman has opened it up. Many of these dudes has opened it up to where the exhibition market is about to become a big thing.
And the money's there. The money is definitely there. I mean, you go back a few years, couple years, Mayweather versus McGregor. The money is there. I mean, definitely. But you're right, man. I mean, because these fighters aren't doing what they should do as far as, the top-notch fighters, not facing the top-notch fighters constantly. I mean, look at what happens and look where the money's being funneled, and like you just said, if fighters really were to do it the right way, that money would be funneled back to them. But it is what it is, right? So just to top this off real quick, around these terms, Oscar wants to fight now. Now Oscar De La Hoya wants a piece of that action. He wants them M's, like Jacobs was saying. I'm touching M's. Oscar wants to touch them M's, all right? What do you think about that, bro, with Oscar? Do you think, okay, he's talking about going to 154. Charlo, he's like, I'm here, baby. Let's go. Lions only. I think Oscar's going to be second guessing it now. What do you think? You think that a fight will happen? And what will Mel do to Oscar if they were to fight?
Nah, I don't think he gonna fight none of these young guys. He probably wants to, but he probably wants to. It's probably the drugs talking for Oscar. He'll get hurt by one of these young dudes, but the market's gonna open up for him. The same thing Tyson them doing. That market can open up for Oscar. Somebody, who was that? What is that? Thriller, the music app Thriller paid $50 million for the rights to that fight for Roy Jones Tyson. So there's money for it if Oscar can find a right opponent to go about calling out. There's a market for this stuff because what these other dudes ain't doing. And who knows if Oscar is probably needing to get back into boxing because of money problems. Like I follow a lot of real estate stuff here on YouTube and just real estate stuff, period. Like I said, I got nerdy side to me, so I follow a lot of industry type shit. So I see Oscar's putting up a few of his properties on the market, selling them off. So I wonder if that's a money thing. Let me stop this little puppy back here. So putting up houses on the market due to some money struggles. And why is he talking about getting back into boxing? So that's what I wonder what it is. But he may have an opening in the exhibition side of things too. It's probably definitely a market for Oscar to get back in there and make some of his own money.
So you think it's the dope talking, that little sniffy. You think he's doing dope still, man?
Hell yeah, he is. He ain't never went to rehab for it. Yeah, he on it.
Yeah, we'll see how this all turns out, man, with all these old legends coming back, man. We'll see what's going on, what the heck is going on here. So, all right, brother Reggie Owens, thank you so much, man, for coming on with me, man. It was so fun. Awesome stuff, man, talking boxing. And soon, everybody, we're going to get back to that series with Curtis Anderson, the OGs, the historian, Curtis Anderson, Stormy B, man, and, of course, Reggie Owens. We're going to get back to that series soon. I think this Saturday. I'll get you guys with the email. So thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in, man. J.A. Dixon, everybody, G. Hodges, Bruce Goes, Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk, and more. Everybody, Ray Wallace, G. Funky, D. Style, man. So, of course, Stormy B. All you guys who are coming in, man, who are coming in and checking out the live. Thank you, everybody, so much. And those who are maybe not in the chat, maybe not in the comments, right? But who are tuning in and, opening their, Ack Reacher. Also, thanks so much. The Jab Jamboree, JC, all y'all. Thank you so much, man. Remember, once again, Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens to his backup channel. Go subscribe. Any last words, Reggie?
Oh, no, that was it, man. Good show, man. I enjoyed having this conversation, man. Real good show, man. And you guys hit that like button before we get up out of here.
Most definitely. I repeat, go subscribe to Reggie Owens' backup channel. Go subscribe. Everybody subscribe to each other also. Lawrence Williams, go subscribe to Lawrence. Go subscribe to Stormy B-Man. Go subscribe to G Funky, J.A. Dixon. Everybody who is up in here. Everybody who is up in here who does content, man. Go subscribe. Go show the love to everybody. Go also to Michael Johnson, Boxing Talk, and more. Everybody here, man. Thank you guys so much. Until the next one, family. Like I said, me and Reggie got some more content coming out, about some unique things. Ooh, you got to be prepared for this, guys. Some good stuff, man. Good stuff out there. Thank you so much, Reggie. Can you stay on the line just for a couple seconds, man, after this, all right? Just for a moment, all right?
Yeah, right on.
Peace out, family. Thank you so much. Peace out, fam.